Hey honey roses, welcome to Milk and Honey Rose Tarot. You're always welcome here in the space with me. I hope everyone's morning, noon, night, evening is wonderful, depending on where you are. All right, I'm going to get a reading out for you today, my beautiful souls. Okay. I love you all very much. Now let's see what Spirit has for you. Holy Spirit, come through. Please protect my energy in this reading as well as the collective's energy. Protect my honey roses while I read for them. Thank you all for being here. All right. Let's see what the message is today. Poised. You know how to handle yourself. You know how to take care of you, and you're not an embarrassment in public. Like, you're very poised. You just know how to conduct yourself. I feel like you also know how to conduct yourself spiritually, or you're learning. Okay, so this card here says exchanging gifts. Okay, so this is the teasing. It is, or how's it go? 'Tis the season to be jolly. It's a time for exchanging gifts, gift giving. Okay, but I feel like you can give gifts at any time of the year. It doesn't just have to be this time of the year. And you can also be a gift to someone else. Okay, there's individuals that will come into your life that are a gift to you, but you have to recognize it when people who are special to you do come to you, okay? Okay, so this card says, come to the edge. So that reminds me of the Fool card. Come to the edge. I'm going to show you what it looks like, if I could pick it up. Come to the edge, you see? It reminds me of the Fool card. So it's like I'm taking a leap of faith and being willing to love, being willing to give, being willing to be understanding and understand people and their different perspectives of life, because everyone has their own walk of life, and it's not up to us to judge it. So it's just giving me that feeling like you're in this place where you're not really judging anyone for who they are and what they choose to believe and how they choose to feel. It's like you're poised in anything and everything that comes your way. Like, almost like you're ready for anything. A change in the wild. So there's a shift. It's a time to prepare, because change is coming in your life. Okay, change in the wind, so it could be very hasty. Like, the movement could be very quick. Wind can move quickly, or it could be a calm. So there's a lot of ebbs and flows when it comes to life. So it's like it could be a time where things seem calm and there's a couple of things that need to be handled, but it's not like chaotic. But then there's a time when things do get chaotic, and there's a plethora of things that you just have to do at once, and it could be overwhelming. But this is a message to learn to adapt to those changes when they occur, instead of getting upset, getting aggravated, even though it is very possible, because sometimes change can be it can fluster you, make you feel like, okay, what am I doing? Like, kind of like you have to collect yourself again, especially when the change is unexpected, okay? So that's what I'm getting here with these 4 cards. And then here, it says building blocks at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So it just feels like with these 4 building blocks, you have a sense of You have a sense of know-how. And it's like rooted from having a connection to the Most High. Like you have this keen sense of know-how. Like you know how to bob and weave. Like when there's a problem, instead of like allowing yourself to break or allowing yourself to lose control of yourself, you go with it and you're like, you know, I have no control, so I'm just going to go ahead and let it happen. I'm not going to, you know, fight what I can't control. The only thing you could do is fight through the changes, right? Just fight through the changes in order to get through them. So it's like being poised, you know, knowing how to conduct yourself, staying calm when life gets chaotic with a change in the wind, and still being able to give and receive, okay? And still being yourself, though, with this come to the edge, still being edgy, still having that special aspect of you that no one can really take away from you, no matter how much they try, because it's you, it's your blueprint. I feel like a lot of you are coming to a point of gaining understanding of who you are. Like I know who I am now. Like I know more about what it is that I want in life, not what everybody else wants for me. Let me see what else. I'm going to get some tarot here. It's like a message of growth. Like you've grown and you've learned that everything does not come easy, and no matter what, things are going to happen, changes are going to happen, and it's about knowing how to navigate through the changes without breaking. What is poised? Yeah, holding on to your sanity, like holding on to your ability to be as comfortable as possible in uncomfortable situations. Because you know that they're going to happen. It's about learning how to navigate them. Because uncomfortable situations and trouble in life happens to all of us, no matter where you're from, what country you're from, what you believe, your belief system. You see, we're so much alike, even though we're different, because everybody has problems, no matter how much people try to hide them or how much people try to ignore them. They're always there, no matter where you come from. You can have $10 million and you still have problems, or you could have 10 cents and you have problems. So no matter, and everything in between, and everyone in between can still have problems. So no, money cannot, I'm compelled to say, money cannot solve all the problems all the time. Okay, I'm going to say that there is time when money talks, but when it comes to your character, when it comes to your heart, when it comes to your soul and your spirit, money can't fix that. Okay, somebody needs to hear that. Money cannot fix that. There is no money in the spirit realm. The only aspect of you that is of most value is the richness of your consciousness, your heart, and your spirit and your soul. What is come to the edge? So it's really about separating yourself from everything that hurt you, everything that made you feel disconnected from who you truly are, you just disconnected yourself. Like, no matter if it's people, places, you have come to a point to recognize what works for you and what does not, and who is truly there for you and who is not. And I feel a sense of feeling like liberated and invigorated. It feels like refreshing. There's like this refreshing energy to where regardless of who anyone is, you are going to stand on what you believe in and you're going to stick to it. It doesn't matter what other people say. If we try to live our lives based on what other people say, we will be so unhappy. Okay? So it's the best thing for you to do is to find what you believe to be good, you know, and good is defined for me, if I just think of my own little definition, is an aspect of life that brings fruit, like brings good outcomes for everyone, not just like for self. It's like the best option for all, you know, and there's a good that can be defined for self as well as a good for everyone. But I feel like it's just about morals and ethics, like treating people as you want to be treated, like the golden rule. And just it's going back to that poised aspect. Still being who you choose to be, no matter, you know, how you decide that you want to live your life, because it is yours. But just not hurting anything or anyone. It's about being a positive force in the world instead of a negative. There's enough negative forces in the world. There's no more of that needed. Okay, there's enough. So it's to bring the good condition. Okay, that's what it's all about. What is a change in the wind? Yeah, through the changes, it's like you find out what needs to be worked on. Through the changes, you make decisions through the changes. You find what works, what's best within those changes. I'm going to get one more for this one. It's about really paying attention to your experiences and how there were many life experiences that really threw you for a loop, like had you confused, not really knowing which way to go, left, right, up, down, like I'm not sure what to do. We've all been there. And then you're still here at the end of it. And when you go through those tough moments, it's like, what do I do now? Like, what am I supposed to do? That's how you feel when you get stuck. We all get stuck, even in like school. You know, when you're learning something new, and that's even for adults, not just children. When you're learning something new, sometimes our brain just gets stuck because it's like, what? I don't understand that. But the more that you like review what you're looking at, the more you expose yourself to different aspects of that topic, slowly you start to understand until you gain the knowledge from that topic, right? But there's always that really frustrating time when you don't understand and you just want to give up. You just want to say, forget it. But if you give up, you won't really learn what was supposed to be learned if you just give up too soon, because it gets hard, because it gets tough. Okay? So it's important that you don't give up, because there is always a end result that brings you to a newfound understanding that can help you along the way in the future. So I feel like you've learned a lot of those life lessons, and you know, you've learned enough, or you learned so much, I should say, not enough, because I'm not trying to minimize what you've learned or what you understand now. But what I'm saying is that You've come to a place where even when things get difficult and there's a change in the wind, you're more prepared to go into battle, you know, to put on your armor and just do it. Like, I'm doing this. Like, I don't care what nobody says. I'm going to do it because this is what I want to do and this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, when you just have that feeling inside you, when you want to move forward with a certain task or hobby or situation or a move, you know, it could be anything when it comes to what you want to do in life. But it's about you're more willing to take a risk when you remember the tough situations that you went through and how you thought you weren't going to make it and you did. So that's what I'm seeing here with this 8 of Pentacles, the 2 of Pentacles, and the 9 of Wands, clarifying a change in the wind. It's like you're just more prepared. Like you have everything you need to move forward, even when you feel like you don't have everything you need. And it's from what I'm seeing here, you are setting an example for a community. With this poise, with the 4 of Pentacles and the 4 of Swords, 44 could be important, 48, 27, 12, 36, 28 as well. And your life sets an example for others, because with what you have found and your ability to navigate the world in a way where it's almost like not much surprises you because you've seen so much already. Like, you've seen so much already where there's not many surprises. So just the way that you handle tough situations is very attractive, and it makes people gravitate towards you. So when people do gravitate towards you, you show them love, you give them love. You give them an honest opinion, but from a caring place, like it's coming from a really good place within you. And if you don't know, I just feel like you're someone who is not just going to steer someone the wrong way. You're going to tell the person what you honestly believe, and then also share with them, you know, still do your own research. Don't just go by what I'm saying. Like, because it's important. I find that a lot of times in life, even with adults, a lot of people will just go by word of mouth instead of doing some research and trying to figure things out on their own. It's easier to just listen to someone. But what if that person is not telling you the truth? You know, what if that person is just not being genuine, not being honest, and is just pulling things out of a hat because they like to hear themselves talk? So it's always good to take advice and to listen to what people have to say, because you can learn from people no matter who they are or where they come from. What else did I want to say with that? There was something else more. Just make sure that you don't take someone else's word at face value, because it's important for you to gain your own understanding. Because once you gain your own understanding, that's when newfound information, it really sticks to you, and it stays with you forever. It doesn't really go anywhere. It will stay with you for like the long term, and it will become a part of you, like a part of your DNA. What is this building blocks here? I have the Hangman coming out and the 5 of Cups. Okay, in the bottom of the deck, I have the 6 of Pentacles. Ooh, almost dropped my cards. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Six of Pentacles. So from what I'm seeing here, it's like sometimes many of you look back on your past, and when you think about things that happened to you, there's a sense of sadness that comes over you. It's very somber. Okay, it's very it like hits you in the gut, like that those times in life that really hurt you, and when you go back over them, it still brings tears to your eyes. I feel like a lot of you are recognizing that if those tough moments or tough moments in time didn't happen, you wouldn't have much to build on. So the most trying times in your life build this foundation for you, because now you have character. Like, a lot of times messed up stuff could happen to us and we ask why, you know, why did this have to happen to me? But do you realize how it changes the way you think when stuff happens to you? It changes how you look at people, places, things, environments, and you start to understand what's safe and what's not safe, who is to trust and who is not to trust. If you don't go through those experiences, we would just be out here all willy-nilly, all happy-go-lucky with everybody, like, you know? And I'm not saying don't be kind. I'm not saying don't speak to people, you know, even for introverts, because I'm an introverted I'm an introverted person, but I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm on both sides of the spectrum when it comes to that. But some people are introverted, you know, so they're not going to be as open. But then for an extroverted person, that's just a personality. They're going to just talk to random people like, hey, what's up? Or blah, 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 whatever, just talking, you know. Our interaction with others is based on our personality as well, you know, and our placements, you know, all of that matters, because that's just how that's our makeup. But I'm not saying don't speak to people or feel like scared of everybody, but it's about using discernment in all that you do and paying attention to the signs. Like, don't ignore them. And if you didn't go through the difficult times that made you see things for what they are, you wouldn't be who you are today, no matter how you look at it. And no matter how painful what you went through was, you wouldn't think how you think. Because when you don't have a certain experience that you experience on your own, you look at things way different. You know, you look at things from a more innocent perspective. But when you actually have situations where you go through things and they were painful and you learn from them, you know to stay away from certain people. You know when to say no and when you don't agree with something. Like, through those trials and through those spiritual tests, that's where you get your character from. Like, you know, that's where your know-how comes from. And that's where your understanding comes from. So if you don't go through the tough times, you just don't understand. Honestly, I feel like that's why a lot of, not all people that are wealthy, because some people that are wealthy understand what it means to struggle and what it means to have a sense of feeling disconnected from the world, when we're not supposed to feel that way, because we're all connected. No matter how you look at it, we are all here. We're all connected. We're all made of the same stuff, just a different mix here and there. But we're all made of the same stuff. We all feel. We all have emotions, right? But I feel like when it comes to some wealthy people, they lack character. And it's not to it's not to make fun of them or make them, or like, you know, be mean or anything. It's just a simple fact of, like, for an example, for a child that was brought into the world in a wealthy family, they often say that they were born with a silver spoon. That's like a saying that I've heard since I was younger. If the parents don't take the time to spend time with their children and to teach them the truth about the world and what goes on around the world and how everybody does not live as they do and not everyone is well off financially as they are, they won't understand if they're not told, if they're not taught. And if they're taught to, you know, mistreat people that aren't as financially secure as they are, it starts to build this character within them from a very, very early age. And they're out of touch and they don't understand life from both perspectives. And it's very important that people understand life from both sides, you know, of the spectrum. So I feel like that's the reason why some people that were born into wealth, they become rude and they have their nose up in the air and they automatically think that they are better, but not really understanding that your environment makes you who you are. Like, it's your environment, it's who you're around, it's who you're influenced by. Influence will completely change us to who we become. Okay, so don't look at your history or your experiences in vain. Know that everything had a purpose and it has made you the beautiful soul that you are today. Okay? Know that. All right, let me see. What else do I want to get here? What does the collective, what do you want them to do with this information that you're showing us, Spirit? What do you want them to do with this information? The moon came out. I'm getting a feeling like they want you to paint the picture for yourself. They're not revealing it because they want you to reveal it. With this message, it is up to you to dissect it and create it and blend it to yourself and blend it to how this message helps you, or how it makes you look at your life. Like, it's up to you to paint the picture that you need to paint about you to move forward, because you're a beautiful soul and you have to know that. Okay, and it's about having an understanding of the tough times and why they happened. Like, what was it all for? Like, what does that mean to you? Drop it down in the comments. And if you have found an understanding of what your struggles mean to you, like how did they build your character, share that with me, because I would love to communicate with you about this, because it's like, it's something that we all go through. Like, this is like real and it's true. It's what we all go through. The struggle is like an investment of blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, it's like you putting your all into life, just trying to figure out who you are and like your reason for being here. Like, what is your reason for being here? Do you feel like you know the answer to that question, or you feel like you don't know? Like, you know, like, and this is to improve you, not to make anyone feel like less than, because we were all there as well. We were all there, or we're still all going through that. You know, just trying to see which way to go, how to do this, you know, how to do that. It's just definitely not easy, but it's about learning how to live through it. And then I have the King of Cups here in reverse. So it's like, understanding how you got through the tough times the way you did, when you thought that you were going to give up and you didn't. And seeing how much that builds your character. It reminds me of when we go to the gym. You know how when we go to the gym, or for those that do go to the gym, and you'll hear a lot of fitness instructors say, push yourself. You know, push yourself past your limit. See how far you can go. Like mind over matter. Like to just go and do it no matter how much it hurts. When you feel like you can't do it anymore, then stop. But like push yourself. Push yourself past what you think your limit is. Because that is growth. When you feel like you can't do something and then you do it, that makes you grow, because you recognize an aspect of yourself that you didn't even know existed. And it also gives you, and it like gives you this internal encouragement. It's like this self-encouragement. Like you become your own coach. You become your own trainer in life sometimes when you go through things alone. Because there's things that we also go through alone that we don't tell anybody as well. There's things that happen, well, for some of us, where you just do it. And you have to boost yourself up. You have to boost your own morale, because you can't always depend on somebody else to do it for you, because everybody's in their own world. Everybody has their own problems. So it's like you have to learn how to pick yourself up when you fall, and like just learning how to take yourself outside of the situation, and then ask yourself, what advice would I give to someone else that was going through this, so you could think clearly. It's difficult to think clearly when you're scared, when you're nervous, when you're worried, you know. It's very difficult to think straight. So it's important that you recognize how much of a warrior you are and how strong and resilient you are. It's important for you to know that your soul is beautiful. It's important for you to know how you made it through trials and these difficult situations that you thought you wouldn't make it through. Like, you did it though. Like, you made it. You're here listening to me. So that shows how powerful you are. Like, it shows how resilient you are. You did not give up on yourself. And that is like a beautiful thing. And you made some decisions to walk away when you did not want to. And you also made decisions to stay in a situation when you did not want to. With this 8 of Cups in reverse. Because sometimes we might want to move quickly, but we can't because it's not time. Like, say for instance, you live with someone and you do not want to live with this person because they're just horrible. Like, they're not considerate. They're not caring. They don't share with you. They're very selfish. Like, they don't clean up after themselves. And it's like they're always talking about something that doesn't really make much sense to you. And so there's no equality in that situation. So it's like, I have to get myself out of here. I cannot be here anymore. So you start to, you know, look at your options, weigh the pros and cons as to what you're going to do. But then you find that you might not have the resources to leave at that time. So you start to look at what it is and what's going to have to happen. And once you figure it out, you realize that you're going to have to stay there a little longer. Then you have to figure out, how am I going to navigate this? Because this is a change in the wind. But I still have to work at things, and I still have to make decisions, even though with this King of Cups in reverse, I don't like this situation. But that's what it's all about. That's what that growth is about. Because that's when you push. That's when you push. You keep going and you push because you're motivated to leave because I don't want to be around this person. I don't want to be around them. You know, it's at the point where I don't think they like me and I don't really like them. And this is just being honest. Sometimes this happens. This happens a lot because you don't really know someone until you move in with them. And then you see everything. Like, you thought you knew somebody. You don't know until you are around them 24/7, and you can't necessarily get away from them too fast. And you might not like what you see. That's what I'm seeing here. So it's to remember the moments that were the most difficult for you, so that you could, it hurts to think about it, even with you being outside of that time frame where that happened in the past already. Memories stand still. Like, we remember moments. We don't always remember like everything, but we remember the moments that caused our emotions to run high, no matter if it was surprised, happy, sad, emotional, scared, nervous. Like, we remember things that moved us in a way, you know, like moved us in a way of wanting to change. That's another thing. Those tough situations make us move. Because why would you move if everything's easy, right? It's cool. Everything's good. It's like I'm living in a paradise. So where am I going? But when things get difficult, it makes you move. It makes you go. Like, all right, you needed some fire up under you so that you can, you know, get on a good foot. Like, it's time to go. Like, you're not just going to sit there and burn. You're going to get that ass up, right? And those hard times were not in vain, okay? And I know many of us have gone through some really messed up situations, like horrible stuff, you know? It's like as soon as we are birthed into this world, we just start getting destroyed. Like, we just start getting, like, power bombed with all of this wrong. There's like a lot of wrong here. There's a lot of bad. It's not a good condition. So the best thing you can do is be in a good condition, because your good condition can be contagious. And it's not the place. It's not the world. It's the people. Okay? It's not the world. It's the people. So it's like we're destroyed from the inside out. When we start to learn what is given to us, we get destroyed from the inside out because we learn what is in the curriculum. We don't necessarily learn what we're supposed to learn. Okay? So it changes, it it changes what we learn in our environments that we're in, especially if we don't have good influence as youngsters, like, you know, as little jits running around. You know, we are just bound to go through some situations that are going to annihilate us over and over again. And it's like, are you gonna sink or swim? Like, you know, what are you gonna do? What is the choice that you're gonna make for yourself? Because if you push, if you do that hard work and you push, you can get out of it. You can get out of the facade, the fake stage that has been created. You can get out of it, but you have to believe you can. And then you start to gain this understanding, and you push and you keep pushing and you don't give up. You know, once you start to sell yourself short and tell yourself that, you know, something is not going to work out for the best, and that, you know, thinking negative. Once you start thinking negative and let that aspect of the thought dominate your thoughts, it's a wrap. You're just going to be going in a downward spiral for as long as you allow it to happen, because you do have control over your emotions. And you can say, no, I'm not going to be thinking that way, and I'm going to continue on with my life, and I'm going to do what I need to do to get myself out of the situation. And I am very thankful if I meet someone along my journey that will help me to get to where I'm trying to go, and then I can help them in whatever way I can. Like, you know, like, be always willing to exchange that good energy, not just suck up the good energy and not give anything back. Because when you give, you get, you receive. It's like you know, one of those universal laws, like you get what you give. So if you're giving good energy, you're gonna get it back. That's just what it is. You're gonna get it back. But if you out here wilding out on everybody unnecessarily, that karma is gonna come. And we've all experienced that too. Like, we get our buns whooped in the spirit, okay, and then we won't cry. Like, oh no, I can't believe that happened to me. But when you think about things that you've done, it's like, I deserve that. I had to learn from what I did. It wasn't right. And now I understand why I shouldn't do that anymore. It's like a way to correct you, to get you back to that good nature. It's a correction. Just like if a child starts to play video games when they know they were supposed to do their homework first because they thought their mama wasn't looking. They're going to have to get corrected. And their correction may be they can't have snacks for 2 days, or they can't watch TV for a week. I don't know. Whatever the correction is, it's a way to retract and correct the negative behavior. It's like to condition you to do the right thing. So when we go through those karmic situations and we learn from them, the whooping sometimes is harsh. It's not nothing light, you know, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm really going through this right now. Like, why is this happening to me? And we often forget, you know, the things that we did that weren't right. And we often forget that things that we've done in a past life can follow us, and we can pay karmic debt from a previous life as well. But once you pay that debt, you know, you start to look at things differently because you learn from them. It's all about the learning process of it all. It's all about learning and coming out on top. But it's just sad because everybody doesn't get to that point because their soul is weak, and they haven't had any support and encouragement needed to keep going. They haven't had it, so it's like they don't really know how to handle it. You know, they don't really know what to do with such a difficult situation because it's foreign to them. And sometimes people just don't have that person to tell them it's going to be okay and to keep going. Those positive words can have a great impact on our lives, just as well as negative Words do. You know how somebody tells you, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. Oh, you're not good at that. You shouldn't do that. That could make you really not go and do that thing. But if you have somebody telling you, you could do it, I believe in you, you know it is much more likely that you will actually do it. There's very few people that can hear someone tell them that they're not good at something and that they're not going to make it and that they're just worthless and still get to that thing. It's less people in the world that are able to overcome that adversity. There's a lesser number or percentage of people that are able to bypass that what's the word I want to put? That title that someone else outside of yourself puts on you. And that brings me to, don't allow anybody to speak over your life. You do what's best for you. You do what you feel, because can't nobody tell you what you are supposed to do. Like, you know, when it comes to your life work, can't nobody tell you that. That's between you and spirit. That is not between anybody else. Again, people can give you their little opinions, you know, but ultimately that decision is supposed to be made with you and the spirit. That's it. You and the Most High. Nobody else can call that. Like, you know, that's not how it's supposed to be. Let me get a scripture here. Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Ghost. Romans 15:13. Okay. I'm going to read that again. Now the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing that ye may abound in hope through the power of the Holy Ghost. So this message is about having hope and believing that everything that you went through was not in vain, and that it built your character for you to be who you are and for you to have understanding and for you to know how to protect yourself and what to stay away from. It builds a defense mechanism within your very being that is untouchable. Can't nobody touch it once you have it. And I know it was hard. I know it hurt. I know you cried many tears, but they weren't in vain because you invested in yourself with blood, sweat, and tears. You also invested in the spirit realm with blood, sweat, and tears. And that is, I mean, it doesn't get any more honest than blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, it doesn't. You can't say that blood, sweat, and tears is not real. You can't. It's just not possible. So also know that you are not alone. Okay? You've had angels protecting you throughout all of this to help you to keep your sanity and help you to recognize that all things had a purpose, even if you don't understand yet. Because they make you the beautiful soul that you are. Just because this world is, the people, not all people, but many people in this world have thrown so much trash at us, like so much uncleanliness, so much pain, so much lies, that we have to recognize how to clean ourselves and purify ourselves. We have to learn how to remove all of the trash. We have to remove it. We have to burn it, like, you know, burn it and know that that is not right. It's not true. It's not real. It's fake. We have to go through this to recognize what's real and what's not real. Because if we don't go through it, we would never know. And we would just be living in, I wanted to say silence. Yeah, we would be living in silence. Thank you, Spirit. We would be living in silence because we wouldn't be able to see what's right and wrong. We would just go along with everything. We're not supposed to go along with this. We're supposed to speak. We're supposed to be sirens. Because the more you speak up, the more change happens. If you don't speak, there's no change. Things will stay the same. So it's up to us for that change to take place. It is up to us for the change that we want to happen. It can't be done without us. It's not possible because we're here. The spirit realm has our back, yes, but we're here now. We're here. So that means that we're within the place where the good condition is supposed to be. So that means that we have to take ownership of our place and of our understanding and actually do something with it. Like, make a difference somehow. You know, make a difference somehow. If it's your calling, it's not like, you know, if you, I mean, I always believe that we're here to help each other. I will never say that we're not. And I feel like that's for everyone, but it's just that everyone doesn't accept it. Everyone doesn't accept that calling. Everyone doesn't even want it. And if you don't, okay, that's fine, you know. But everything that's created is to help someone else. No matter if it's a chair, a software system, an airplane, a car. Everything that is created is to help others. Have you ever thought about that? Everything. Everything. Tell me something that's not here to influence or help or just have some type of impact on people. There's nothing. If you come up with something, let me know, and then we can talk about it because I'm interested in what you have to say. But yeah, it's about that good condition and understanding that your life is not in vain. Acceptance. Okay, it says acceptance. There is nothing about you that you need to fix. Reclaim the disowned parts of you that yearn for love and acceptance. You are beautiful just as you are, regardless of any faults you may perceive you have. You are eternally radiant being of light, or you are an internally radiant being of light. Accept all that you are and just be you. When you truly accept yourself, your whole world will magically and lovingly transform. Yes, it's about accepting yourself and not being ashamed of who you are, and not being ashamed of your past either, because it made you who you are. Like, it made you who you are. Like, don't be ashamed of it, especially if you know that it made a positive difference in your personality or your character. You know, it built your character in a way that you know is real. Like, you know what effect those difficult times had on you. Like, you know. Let's see what else. I'm trying to see what other cards I want to get. Let's see. I'm going to get these Vision of the Soul cards. Let me see what they have to say to us today. Vision of the Soul. Infinite awareness popped out. It's number 20. It just fell when I opened the box, so I just told you. Infinite awareness is just being aware. Like, being aware of your value. Knowing that you are valuable, you are special, you are amazing. You have to know that. Okay, solar plexus, the number 3. Manifestation, 39. And higher consciousness, 30. So it's back to like the emotions and really knowing how to understand them, understand self. So so that you could reach your higher consciousness, your higher self, and connect to the spirit realm so that you can manifest. Because your whole life is a manifestation. And your consciousness births new manifestations. Okay? So when you really tap into the spirit realm and you lean on it, you lean towards your higher self in spirit, and you start to truly connect, you will gain this understanding that becomes so special to you that it will drive you to go. And instead of you being driven by negative emotion, you will then be driven by positive emotion, because you will have a better grasp and understanding of the negative aspect of life and of the trials and the tests and the times that made you cry the most. Like, you have an understanding of them. Once you gain an understanding of them and you accept yourself wholeheartedly with the flaws and all, you are able to surpass all negative connotations that have been attached to you throughout your life. Okay? And then you come to a place of higher consciousness, where that's when your DNA changes. That's when you start ascending. That's when you start getting headaches and you don't understand why, because you didn't do anything. That's when you start getting these like pressure headaches in your forehead and in the back of your neck, like the back of your head, back of your neck, like no lower area there. You start to get those headaches and you're like, where is that coming from? And you can't really put your finger on it. And then you could take Tylenol, you could take Motrin, but it's not working. You're going through an ascension. A lot of times when we have feelings like internally within our body, it's not even like a sickness or anything. It's because you're going through a spiritual shift and you're going through like an awakening, like you're changing. Our DNA changes and you don't think the same anymore. Everything that was in the past is the old you. That old you has been buried. You know, that's no longer who you are. You become a whole new person. And many people may not recognize you, but that doesn't mean shrink for them. They're just going to have to get used to the new you, because you have shed your skin and you've grown. Like a butterfly that has transformed from a caterpillar, or a snake that sheds its skin. There's growth. So that old way of thinking, the old crowd that you used to be around, the decisions that you used to make, you no longer do that anymore, and it's never ever going to happen again. So that is you reaching your higher self. That is you really connecting to who you truly are, as opposed to who you thought you were based off of other people's perceptions of you. You see how confusing that is? We just get here and just get confused. As soon as we start learning, we just start getting confused. We don't even know half of what we're supposed to know, and until you make the concrete decision to want to know, and then that's when you find. And I remember when I was younger with that, if you seek, you shall find. What was that? I don't know, it just fell. I heard something. But anyway, you know, I've always heard that saying, if you seek, you shall find. And now I understand it so much more as an adult. Because when you're younger, you hear all this stuff and you're like, okay. Like, all right, I heard you, but I don't know, but okay. But then as you get older, you start to understand and you're like, oh, I know what that means now. I mean, at least if you're paying attention. But I feel like a lot of you pay attention to things like that, especially, you know, being here with me and being able to listen to what I'm saying and take it in. That says a lot about you and who you are, because I'm talking about spirit. I'm talking about a higher consciousness. I'm talking about really connecting to your true self. Because when you connect to your true self, that's when you can activate what you're supposed to manifest here in this world and what you have. That's when you start to believe in yourself and know that regardless of what anybody else thinks, you're going to go and you're going to do what you want to do. And you're going to act how you want to act. And you're going to be able to take the criticisms that people try to throw at you, because people who aren't awakened to truth are quick to throw criticisms at a person, not even understanding what they just said, but because they don't understand, or because they just feel like trying to hurt someone because they're hurting, they'll just say anything to you to try to throw you off and hope you disappear. But when you stand on yours, you do not disappear. You pop out. And we about to pop out. All right? Y'all about to pop out. Y'all, your soul is too beautiful to be just hiding behind the rocks and the trees. Okay? It's time for you to pop out. And it's time for you to connect to your true self, because you deserve it. And that is what, and look what's at the bottom of the deck, crown chakra. And something told me to put the purple light on before I started. And all this purple. You see all this purple? And purple to me always represents like royalty and this richness. And it makes me think about silk. It makes me think about purple silk. The number 7, you could look that angel number up. And now it's time for you to allow spirit to give you the messages that they've been trying to give you. Because ideas come from the spirit realm, okay? And they're trying to give you ideas, but if you do not spend time in the spirit and learn how to balance the spirit and the physical world, it makes it hard for you to get ideas. It makes it hard for you to manifest, or at least plan to manifest, because you're kind of blocked from the spirit. When you can't think of what you want to do or how to do it, or when you don't have any ideas, that's because there's a blockage that you have to clear. Like your crown chakra is being blocked, so you have to like meditate more, spend more time in solitude, listen to what is it, 432 hertz when it comes to the frequency. You can look that up on YouTube, and it could really open you up. Like you need to open up spiritually to receive, and don't allow the things that we've been taught to disconnect you from the spirit, because we're supposed to be connected in spirit. When you're not connected, everything is lost when it comes to what it is that you're supposed to do, and what messages are made for you. And also pay attention to synchronicities. When things start to connect and you start to see the same thing over and over again in different ways, that's a message. Start to do some research and look it up, because the angels are trying to talk to you, to tell you to do something. But it's up to you to pay attention and listen. Okay, beautiful souls, I love you so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for being here again. Always remember that the most important part of any reading is you. I love you. I'll see you in the next read. Bye.